What up, world? What's going on? Welcome, everybody, to my stream. Thank you for joining. Today's April the 2nd. It's 11:30 p.m. Where y'all watching from? Let me know. So today I have a few paranormal encounter stories. They're short stories. I want to see if my soundboard's working. Hand clap. There it is. So yeah, I pretty much read like scary stories, paranormal stories, late night. So yeah, I invite you to turn off your lights and get your headphones on, get cozy. Alrighty. I got one little short story here. The Closet Intruder. Or Intruder in the Closet. A child being babysat noticed something unsettling in the dark closet. A man standing inside, barely visible through the narrow crack of the door. As he kept watching, he suddenly saw an eyelid open, staring right back at him. Terrified, he quickly hid beneath the bed, holding his breath and waiting in silence. Later, when everything was checked, the room no longer felt the same. The closet door, once shut, now stood slightly open. The window had been left ajar, and a few objects had been knocked over, out of place. Things that hadn't been touched before. That's it. That's it with that little bitty short story. But yeah, I remember some family members telling me that in this house where I live at now, they used to see someone in the closet or something like that. I mean, I've never seen anything like that here. But because my grandpa used to live in this house. I mean, my grandparents and all my family. And so yeah, they claim that they would see things in the closet. So when I read that one, that reminded me of that. So where y'all at? Oh. Eurykisio says hi. Hello, hello. Alessandra. Oh, Rodriguez says, what time is it for you? It's 11:32 p.m. What time is it for you where you're at? Kaka171 says, is this the Mango Diddy party, little bro? Yeah, boy! Oh, damn. Pretty loud. Oh, 9:32. Oh, it's early over there. Yeah, buddy. And so yeah, I pretty much read like paranormal stories, kind of like scary stories, short ones. Melissa Hanson says 6:33 p.m. Whoa, it's pretty early. So yeah, there's this other story. Yeah, so it reads, as a child, I began experiencing something I could never explain. It started one quiet summer night, long after everyone else had fallen asleep. I woke up suddenly. The room felt heavy with silence, and then I saw her, a woman drifting through my window, as if the glass wasn't even there, floating slowly into my bedroom. I gave her a name, Maribel. She didn't come just once. Night after night, she would return. Sometimes she only watched. Other times, I could hear her faint whispers, though I could never quite make out what she was saying. Strangely, I learned that if I spoke to her before going to sleep, if I gathered enough courage to say, okay, come tonight, I promise I won't be scared, she would appear. And she always did. There were even times when others heard her too. It got to the point where I believed I could call her like she was waiting for permission. And more than once, she would come at dawn just before the sun rose, as if she had been summoned. I never understood who or what Maribel really was, only that when I asked her to come, she would. Ooh, sounds like a bad idea. You shouldn't summon things you don't know. Unless you want to be haunted, unless that's your thing. Kaka171 says, yo, glad that people get the joke of brain rot, then muting me or banning me. So lame. Right? I like brain rot. Yeah, boy. So yeah, I got this other scary story. And if you have a scary story of, oh, you don't. Melissa Hanson does not like brain rot. If you have any paranormal stories of your own, let me know. I can read them out loud. I have a few of my own. There's this other story. When I was around 6 years old, I woke suddenly in the middle of the night. The room was quiet, but something felt wrong. At the foot of the bed, I saw it. A dark figure, completely still, with no face I could make out. My sibling was awake too, staring in the same direction, frozen. Even our dog sensed it. He laid out a low and easy growl, the kind he never made unless something was truly off. Terrified, we called for our parents. They rushed in and flipped the light on without hesitation. The figure was gone. Nothing stood at the foot of the bed, no shadow, no trace, just an empty room, as if it had never been there at all. Yeah, that's actually happened to me before. I mean, not at the bed, but one time I was staying at a friend's house and I had my dog. I was at a friend's house with my dog, and my friend left to get something, like in the middle of the night, and then I felt something weird in the room, like he had a huge house, and the living room was really big, and all the way to the left of the living room, like towards the bar area. I remember just feeling something weird, and then my dog started like barking at that side of the living room, and the living room was like on that side was dark, cause the lights were off over there. And then and I remember my dog just barking towards the darkness, and I felt uneasy about that side of the living room, and then my dog kept moving the direction of like where he was barking. He kept like turning like more towards me, like closer to me, and then to the point where he was finally facing me. And when he was like actually like he was growling like I never heard him growl before, like it sounded like like he was like he was even showing his teeth, and and at that point when he was like facing exactly in my direction, I remember feeling like goosebumps, and that like threw me off, and so I grabbed my dog and I started walking towards my bedroom, or like the guest bedroom, and so yeah, that's what that story reminded me of. Melissa Hanson. Is this real? She's saying, yeah, these are like real fear of the dark. Oh yeah, let me know of that pumpkin story, like whenever you remember it. Oh, please hit the like and subscribe. Um, that'd be great. Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Trying to find a story I haven't read yet. I've been live for 15 minutes now. So yeah, there's this other one, this other story. It's not well, it's kind of paranormal maybe. It's more like suspense, but when my phone lit up with Grandma's name, a crushing weight settled in my chest. My hands trembled so badly I nearly dropped it. The email was still open, the photo still there, the one I knew I hadn't taken. And in it, that boy, closer than before, close enough that I should have noticed him. And the phone kept ringing. For a moment, I convinced myself she had sent it. That this call would finally make sense of everything. That it would end the madness. But the second I answered, I heard in her voice pure panic. "Where are you?" she demanded. It took me a second, and I answered, "At home." "Are you safe?" she asked. The urgency in her tone made my stomach drop. "I think so." "Grandma, what's wrong?" She didn't answer right away. I could hear her breath, fast, uneven. "Are you hurt?" she asked again, sharper this time. "No, I'm fine." "You're scaring me," I said. Silence stretched between us, thick and suffocating. Then I forced out a question that had been clawing at me. "Did you send me that email?" "What email?" she said. I sat up straighter. "The one I just got. There's a picture of me in it." Nothing. Not even her breath now. When she finally spoke, her voice had changed, lower, tighter. "What picture?" I rushed through the details, the empty subject line, the strange sender, the image of me and the boy behind me, the file name that turned out to be a date. By the time I finished, her breath had grown louder again. "You need to leave," she said. "Leave where?" "Your house, now," her voice cracked. "He almost has you." Ice flooded through my veins. What does that mean? Don't ask me that over the phone. There was anger in her voice now, but not at me, at something else, something unseen. "Get out. Do not stay there." "Grandma, you're not making sense," I said. "I know," she said softer now. "I know. Just trust me. Get in your car and come here, right now." Then the line went dead. I didn't grab anything except my keys. I left the lights on, the front door unlocked, and ran straight into the rain. I had never heard her like that before, and with everything that had been happening, I wasn't about to stay and find out what it was. The drive is a blur now. Red lights, wipers, dragging across glass, lightning flashing, my reflection back at my window. I kept checking the rearview mirror over and over because I knew if I saw him back there even once in my back seat, I would lose control of the car. When I pulled into her driveway, something was wrong immediately. The porch light was on, the front door was slightly open. I sat there for a second, engine running, rain tapping against the floor. Then I stepped out. "Grandma," I called, pushing the door. "Open." My cat, y'all. My cat's attacking me under the table. He's biting at my feet. I sat there for a second, engine running, rain tapping against the roof. Then I stepped out. "Grandma," I called, pushing the door open. No answer. Inside the house was dim. Only the kitchen light glowed. Everything else sat in shadow. Her purse was by the wall. Her shoes by the mat. Normal. Too normal. I checked every room. Nothing. In the kitchen, 2 mugs sat on the table. The tea had gone cold, a bag still hanging over the rim. That's when I looked up at the attic. I don't know why I already knew. Maybe because by then everything led back there. "Grandma," I called, pulling the ladder down. No reply. The attic smelled wrong this time. Not just old, rotting wood. My flashlight took as I swept it across the clutter, and then I saw her. She was slumped against the support beam, twisted like she had tried to crawl. Her eyes gone, her face locked in something far beyond pain, terror. "Grandma?" I dropped beside her, but I knew immediately there was nothing left to do. That's when I noticed a photograph beside her hand. I picked it up with numb fingers. She was young in it. My grandfather stood beside her, and between them a small boy, smiling, alive. I turned the frame over. Our little miracle. Stephen. The name blurred as I stared at it. Then something shifted behind me. No sound. Just presence. I turned. At first nothing. Then he flickered into view. Then gone again. A small boy standing behind the boxes. Gone, then back closer. My breath caught. Stephen. He vanished, then reappeared, still closer. The flickering sped up. Each time he returned, he was nearer. I scrambled backward, heart hammering, His face never changed, no emotion, just stillness, like something wearing the shape of a child. I lunged for the ladder, the hatch slammed shut, the impact shook the attic. I screamed, clawing at it, but it wouldn't move behind me. Another flicker, closer. Now I could see him clearly. Gray skin, empty eyes, clothes hanging unnaturally still. He took a step, no flicker this time. Another step, more solid. I grabbed the nearest thing, a metal lamp base, and swung. It passed through where he had been. He reappeared to my left, closer. I kicked the hatch again and again until something gave. On the third hit, it burst open. I fell down the ladder, hitting the hallway hard. I didn't look back, not until I was outside. VMDI says, "Are you sad?" I am not sad. Oh, thanks, Melissa. Yeah, my cat wanted to be in the video. Lightning split the sky. For a fraction of a second, he stood in the attic window. The next flash, he was outside. Another, closer, one step and a half the distance, then vanished. That's when I ran. I ran blindly into the trees behind the house. Branches tore at me, mud slipped under my feet, rain poured through the leaves. I expected to hear him, footsteps, breathing, something, but there was only me, until I tripped. When I looked up, I knew I wasn't just deeper in the woods, I was somewhere wrong. The ground opened into the wrapped clearing, stones jutting from the earth, blackened jars half buried, rusted wire hanging from branches. Something had been built here once, carefully, then left to rot. 3 bodies lay around the center, or what remained of it. Bones, fragments, decay. I stared, mind blank, then fingers brushed my shoulder. I screamed and spun. He was there, no flicker, no distortion, just standing behind me, watching, waiting. What happened next felt instinctive, desperate, wrong. I knocked over a stone. He jerked his body, distorting violently. I froze, then I understood. I started tearing the place apart. Stones, wires, jars. Each thing I disturbed made him break, glitch. Then I heard a scream, his voice twisted into something inhuman. Then he came for me, not running, snapping through space, closing the distance, impossible movements. I hurtled a stone into the center. It struck something beneath the mud, and he screamed. Not through the air, through me. He shuddered, gone. All right, well, this story goes on forever, but I think it was all right. I I think the other shorter stories I read earlier were better. All right, bye, Melissa. See you next time. Goomba Goombers says the blue light in the front is also nice. Thanks, appreciate that. Jane Ramirez 8247 says, I have a question. What's the question? Can I sing House of Memory? I sure can. No, I'm joking. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm looking it up. Oh yeah, before I forget, please visit mentormysteps.org. It's a nonprofit organization helping young men like with mentorship, because some people, like just need someone to talk to, and they also there's also coaches available in like sports and combat sports and the arts like music and other types of arts. So please visit mentormysteps.org to either make a donation or become a mentee. So someone can mentor you, or you could become a mentor, or if you'd like to be a volunteer at one of the events. Clark Strickshot says, I like your hair. Thanks, appreciate it. Working on the poof. Oh, it's midnight, y'all. What time is it where y'all are at? I'm in Texas and it's midnight right now. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you have any paranormal stories of your own, let me know in the chat or in the comments, and I'll read them out either now or next time I get on live. 12:01? Oh, you must be Central Time, like me. What kind of stories are y'all into? More like scary stories, like paranormal encounters, or mystery. I like scary stories. Yeah, boy. What else we got? Oh, we got a hawk or a crow. Jane Ramirez is into butterfly says butterfly. I'm into comment my book. Yeah. I've got this other story. When I was about 12, my mom had to leave town for a few days. She wasn't worried about me staying at home alone. We had relatives nearby, and she didn't give me a cell phone, figuring she could always reach me on the landline if needed. She told me exactly what day she'd be back, and that was that. When that day came, I heard knocking at the front door, then my mom's voice calling my name from downstairs. My dog who my dog who adored her immediately perked up and sprinted down the stairs to greet her. But the second she reached the door, she stopped. Something spooked her badly. She turned and blotted back upstairs straight to me. That was enough to make me hesitate. I didn't go down to answer the door. A moment later, the knocking stopped and the phone began to ring. I picked it up. It was my mom. Hey, she said, I'm really sorry, but I have to stay here one more day. I'll be home tomorrow. Something or someone had been at the door using her voice. It didn't fool the dog. Yeah, it's pretty, I've actually experienced something similar like that, to where I thought I heard someone's voice, and so did my relative that was with me, and that person wasn't out there. So it was like, I guess whatever it was using the person we knew, like their voice, so we could open the door, but it wasn't that person. There was nobody standing out there. So that's kind of creepy. No, I've never heard of the Jane Ramirez says, have you ever heard of the Poppy Playtime chapters 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1? No, I've never heard of those. I'll have to, I'm gonna look that up. Cyber Champion 9 says, "Yo, what are you doing?" Reading paranormal stories, short stories, and just creepy stories, and paranormal encounters that people have, like in real life. If you have a paranormal encounter story, send it in the chat or in the comments, and I'll read it out loud, like now or next time I get on live. Room 3 podcast says, sup, whatever, huh? Cyber Champion says, oh, that's cool, tell me one. Let me see. I read a few earlier. Interesting. Fear of the dark. Cyber Champion says, I gave a like. Appreciate that, man. Thanks. Yeah, if you could like and subscribe, I appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate the sub. Thank you. Rachel had always been afraid of the dark. Losing her sight as a child had turned the world into something unpredictable. Shapes replaced by sound, faces replaced by voices, every unfamiliar creak or shifting current of the air carried meaning and sometimes threat. But she had learned to live without it. More than that, she had learned to feel safe because of her husband. He was her constant, her anchor, the one who guided her through crowded streets, who described sunsets she could no longer see, who reassured her in the quiet hours of the night. With him, the darkness never felt empty. So when he left on a business trip, the silence in the house felt heavier than usual. Rachel tried to keep herself steady. She followed her routine with careful precision, cooking by memory, cleaning by touch, losing herself in audiobooks that filled the room with voices other than her own thoughts. At night, she reached for his pillow, pressing her cheek against it, pretending his warmth still lingered. It became her ritual, her reassurance. Until the night, it wasn't. She lay in bed, listening to the quiet hum of the house when something shifted. It wasn't sound exactly. It was a feeling. Moses Flores, K1G says, hi, I will subscribe to you. Thanks, appreciate that, man. Cyber Champion says, bye. Bro, you are the best. I hope you good. Appreciate it, man. Thanks. Take care. A presence. Rachel held her breath. The air felt different, thicker somehow, as if something unseen had entered the room and displaced the familiar. It's nothing, she whispered to herself, but the feeling didn't fade, it grew. Slowly, trembling, she reached out toward her husband's pillow. Her fingers brushed against it and then stopped. This wasn't fabric, it was cold, damp, wrong. She jerked her hand back, her pulse slamming in her ears. A faint, uneven breath broke the silence. Too close, too deliberate. Something was in the room with her, something that did not belong. Rachel scrambled out of bed, her hands sweeping widely until they found the wall. She pushed herself forward, disoriented, desperate for the door. Behind her, a soft thud, then another. Footsteps following. She gasped, stumbling as her foot caught on the edge of a rug. She hit the ground, hard, pain shooting through her palms as she tried to crawl. The breathing was closer now, right behind her, hot against the back of her neck. Then, Rachel, her husband's voice clear, familiar. Relief surged through her like a flood. "I'm here," she cried, scrambling to her feet, reaching out toward the sound. "Help me." "Rachel, come here," he said. But as she moved closer, something inside her hesitated. The voice wasn't quite right. Too smooth, too slow. Like someone carefully copying something they didn't fully understand. Her blood turned to ice. It wasn't him. The thing shifted its tone, mimicking again. "Rachel." Closer now. Too close. She stopped. Silence stretched between them. Then she turned and ran. The footsteps exploded behind her, no longer pretending. Heavy, rapid, inhuman. It was chasing her. She pushed forwards blindly, crashing into walls, furniture, anything in her path. Her breath came in ragged gasps as the thing closed the distance, right behind her, closer, almost. And then everything stopped. Just as this thing lunged, Rachel dropped flat to the floor, still silent. The creature's momentum carried it forward, its claws scraping across the wall where she had been. Rachel didn't move, didn't breathe. She remembered something her husband had once told her during a power outage, when fear had crept in just like this. "When you're afraid, be still. Not everything that hunts what it can't find." The room went quiet. The breathing stopped. The footsteps slowed. The thing was lingering, searching, waiting for her to betray herself. Rachel clenched her jaw, forcing her body into absolute stillness. Seconds stretched into eternity. Then, the footsteps moved, slowly, circling, drifting away. The door cracked somewhere in the house, then silence. Rachel stayed for what felt like hours before finally reaching for the wall, inch by inch guiding herself towards the front door. When she stepped Into the cool night air, she collapsed into the porch, shaking, but alive. Behind her, the house stood quiet, empty, or so she hoped. Because as the wind shifted, she thought she heard it again, breathing from inside. Julian Blocks, 123 says hello. What up, y'all? Oh yeah, once again, please visit mentormysteps.org. It's a nonprofit organization helping out young men to become a stronger young man. There's live mentorship and life mentorship, and also coaching in sports and combat sports and the arts like music and other arts. So yeah, please visit mentormysteps.org. You'll go on there and give a donation of any size. It's all needed and appreciated. Or you could sign up to be mentored on there, or to become a mentor or a volunteer. So yeah, please visit mentormysteps.org. And please like and subscribe. Yeah, and let me know in the comments or in the chat if you have any paranormal encounters of your own, so I can read next time I get on the live. But yeah, y'all take care, and I'll see y'all next time. See ya.